Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today's video will be my favorite books of 2016. I ended up reading a total of 52 books in 2016. A lot of them were for school because I was in my last semester, but I did read a bunch of books that I really enjoyed. I have 6 of them to show you today because they are the top faves of the year for me. These are in no particular order, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. My first favorite book of the year was Arcana Rising by Kresley Cole. This is the 4th book in the Arcana Chronicles series, the first one being Poison Princess. This one was a lot smaller than I expected it to be, so I kind of was hesitant. I thought it was gonna be not as great as the other books, but I was blown away. I absolutely loved it. I am completely in love with Death, and I want to hope that she chooses him in the end, but she probably won't, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm totally on the Death ship at this point. But yes, I did really enjoy this book. I love the entire series, and I can't wait for the next book to come out. I believe there might be 1 or 2 more, I'm not entirely sure, but if you don't know what this is based off of Arcana cards, like so tarot cards. The tarot cards come to life in this novel, and it creates like an apocalypse, and they have to fight each other. It's sort of a game where there has to be one left standing, so this is really, really intriguing, and I was definitely pumped to start this series, and I fell in love with it, and the 4th one made my list. It's so good. The next book I have to show you is actually the 3rd book in a series, and that series is the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. So these are the first 3 novels. The one I want to talk about is Lover Awakened. If you don't know what this series is, it is about vampires living in our world, having to protect themselves against a foe that also kills humans whenever they get in their way, pretty much. But yes, it is very enjoyable. It's like an urban fantasy kind of series, but it is definitely for adults. There's a lot of adult content in it. There is a lot of sex and love and stuff going on. So I do really enjoy those aspects of it because I love to see relationships unfold. But this one definitely became a favorite of mine because it follows a character who is very complex and very damaged in a way that you think he won't come back from, but he does. And it's so exciting to finally see him fall in love with somebody, and yes, I love their journey. This series is definitely not for everyone. I know a lot of people have issues with the whole male-female kind of thing where men call women female, but it usually has to do with vampires in this sense, so the more like animalistic side is calling their women a female. So I don't really have a problem with it when it comes to vampires and stuff like that, or maybe in more, or fae, you know, fae creatures and elves and stuff. So I don't really have a problem with that, but it's definitely not for everyone. This is definitely a book for 18 or older. That's what I like to say, but I know you younger generation are probably going to try to read these kind of things, so parental permission advised. But yes, I did really enjoy this. I ended up reading the first 4 books of this series this year, and I enjoyed every single one of them. But this one, above all, for sure. Sadist is my favorite character. The next book that made my favorite list was Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. I read this one while I was abroad in London and Paris, and I forget where I actually was, but I definitely read it like in the airport waiting for the flights. But yeah, it was really enjoyable. I love Brandon Sanderson's writing. I've only read 1 other book by him, and it was the first Mistborn book, and Final Empire, if you're wondering. And I did love that one too. I think it made my favorite list maybe last year or the year before that, whenever I read it. But yes, I love his writing. I love his storytelling. I love the way his magic system works. Like how he comes up with these magic systems is beyond me because they are crazy. In this one, there is a thing called breath. You could take color from something and then breathe life back into something else, so you can make a rope come alive and like tie somebody up or strangle them or something. And it is very crazy and very intense. This one is supposed to be a series, but it could be a standalone. There is an ending which it kind of it doesn't leave it too much open, but there could be a next novel, and there is going to be one, but I don't know when it's going to come out because I don't think he even started writing it yet. But yeah, it's really enjoyable. Loved it. The next book I have to talk about is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. This is the first book in a series, and I don't really know what the series is called, so I'll just call it the Bone Season series. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I loved all the characters. I loved the intrigue of it all. I loved the action in it. And as soon as I finished this one, I actually jumped right into the next one. I think I like this one a little bit more. But yeah, I'm super excited for the third book to come out. They actually are releasing, they changed the covers, but they're releasing an edition of a hardback edition with the original covers, and I'm so excited for that. I think you can only pre-order it, and that's the only way you can get it while supplies last, I believe. But yeah, I definitely pre-ordered it as soon as I heard about that because I want my series to match. I'm glad they're doing that. Good job on you. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. This series is actually all over BookTube and the book community in general. And before, I was really hesitant to pick it up because I wasn't really entirely sure what it was about, but when I jumped right into it, I couldn't put it down. It was that good. The next book I have to show you is the second to last book on this list, and it is Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. This is the third book in the Infernal Devices trilogy. The first two books I gave 4 stars. They were really good, but this one was a 5-star read for me. It was amazing. I think as some of you well know, I'm not really into the Mortal Instruments series anymore. I think it went on way too long, but this one, The Infernal Devices, was the perfect amount. A trilogy where you have a certain amount of time with these characters and then they're gone, or so I've heard. They make appearances in her other books, which is really intriguing to me because I love the characters in this series. This book was just so emotional for me. I think that's why I loved it more than the other ones. It probably made me cry about 5 or 6 times in this entire book. It was really good. Then my final book on this list actually for sure is my favorite book of 2016. I said these were in no particular order, and they're not until you get to this one because it is by far my favorite book. I read this book back in, I think when it first came out, which may have been like May, maybe? I'm not sure, but I read it as soon as it came in the mail, and I haven't stopped thinking about it. And now it's January of 2017, but I haven't stopped thinking about this book, and it is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I cannot get over these characters in this world. I'm so obsessed with it. I did really enjoy A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is the first book, and I think it made my favorite list of 2015, I believe. I'm not sure. I might have to go back and watch that. But yeah, I did really, really enjoy that one, but this one topped it by far. And I do have to address that I understand where people are coming from when it comes to Sarah J. Maas and her writing and how she doesn't have a lot of representation in it. And I completely understand that, and I do agree that she needs to have more. And I do agree that representation and diversity in general is an important aspect of books, and we definitely need that. But for me right now with this book, I still enjoyed it. It didn't take away from it for me. I just loved it in general. I just really, really loved it. But it doesn't change the fact that we need diversity. Don't get me wrong. We definitely need diversity. But anyway, the thing that I loved most about this book in general was just the characters and their development in the way that Sarah J. Maas addressed post-traumatic stress disorder that the main character has in the beginning of this novel, and then how it develops and how she's somewhat healed from it. And I just thought it was a really good concept, and I love Reasoned. Like, he is one of my favorite people in the entire world. I'm definitely going to be rereading this series, or the first 2 books, I should say, before the third one comes out, because I actually wanted to read this again as soon as I finished it, and I've never wanted to do that in my entire life of reading. I've never wanted to pick up the same book I just finished, and read it again. And I was tempted to read this one probably 5 times throughout the rest of the year, and I forced myself not to because I have other books that I need to read. But yeah, I'm probably gonna read this one again very soon. I love it. So yeah, those were my top books of 2016. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please comment down below and let me know if you have read any of these books and what you thought about them. Also, let me know some of your favorite books of 2016. I would love to know. I would also like to mention that I have links to my Twitter and my Instagram and my Snapchat down in the description below. So if you want to follow me on any other platforms, go right ahead. So please like this video and subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you all next time. Bye!